But it's been a singular pleasure, really, for me to stand before you right for tonight and to be in this community for 11 years. It seems like it was yesterday. Yeah. But anyway, it's been a blessing to me, and I hope the church will continue to be a blessing under new leadership. Everything's moving that way. It's a great community, and they know how to serve, so all will be well. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. We're going to miss you. And our second resolution will be given up by Mrs. DiGiacomo and Mrs. Mills. Yeah, right here. How you doing? Hey, man, how are you?
Welcome, Zonta. You have been a standing pillar in this community for a long time, and we have, when you see these ladies, they're not just here. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. They're not just doing this. You'll see them volunteering for all things. So I just can't say enough what a special bunch of people you are, because you do so much. Mrs. DiGiacomo is going to read the resolution, but I kind of sat over the weekend, I was reflecting on the organization. So first I wanted to say welcome. It's a District 5, Area 3, Club of Ashtabula. I wanted to recap a few things of notice that you do. Recently, you had your annual International Fair Trade Holiday Gift Fair shopping event at the Austenburg Town Hall. I know many in the community look forward to that, including myself. This past November, after your business meeting, your club took time to make comfort pillows to be donated to breast cancer patients in Ashtabula. In November, you also shared your mission and activities with the Ashtabula community at the Ashtabula County District Library. You hold an annual spring luncheon fundraiser celebrating women that Mrs. DiGiacomo and myself have attended numerous times. It's wonderful. In March, you did a lasagna love service project and delivered to families and a home safe. And don't forget about the annual nut sales. These are just a few highlights, but you're a wonderful, fantastic group. You work tirelessly all year long to do projects and work on building a better world for women and girls. For that, Ashtabula is blessed to have your group here. And thank you again for all you do. You're just amazing. So without further ado.
This is a resolution honoring the Ashtabula chapter of Zonta International during the 16 Days of Activism campaign. Whereas it has come to the attention of the City Council and these public officials of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, that the Ashtabula chapter of Zonta International has demonstrated exceptional leadership within the community by actively participating in Zonta's worldwide 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence campaign, held annually from November 25th through December 10th. And whereas Zonta International is a global organization dedicated to empowering women through service and advocacy with a long-standing commitment to ending gender-based violence, and whereas domestic violence affects individuals and families across all socioeconomic, racial, and cultural groups, and raising public awareness is essential to preventing violence, supporting survivors, and promoting safe, healthy commitments. And whereas the Ashtabula chapter has undertaken important outreach initiatives such as educating, programming, awareness events, community partnerships, and visible advocacy efforts to inform residents about prevalence of domestic violence and the resources available for survivors. And whereas the chapter continued dedication to the campaign reflects its broader mission to promote gender equity, dignity, and safety for all the people in Ashtabula County. And whereas community organizations like Zonta International play a vital role in fostering collaboration, mobilizing residents, and amplifying the call to end domestic violence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council and these public officials of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, do hereby commend the Ashtabula chapter of Zonta International for its commitment to raising awareness about domestic violence during the 16 Days of Activism's campaign and its dedication to advocacy, education, and community engagement to advance the safety and well-being of all individuals within our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, we're really honored with this resolution. Zonta will be, Ashtabula will be 100 years old in 2027. So we've been in the community for almost a century, and we've always had wonderful support from the community, from our legislators, and we look forward to continued work and your support. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something?
I just want to add thanks to Ann, our president, who's been wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, and like I said, feel free. Feel free to, that's all right. Have a good holiday, everybody. Have a good holiday. Thank you, guys. All right, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 209 honoring Reverend Nielsen?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. Will you please call the roll? Or could I just do?
I think it's just a voice
Yeah,
vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That resolution has passed by a 6-0 vote. May I have a resolution honoring the Ashtabula chapter of Zonta?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. DiGiacomo moves, Ms. Holman seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That resolution has passed by a 6-0 vote. Thank you. We will now go on to the approval of our minutes. We have 3 sets.
December 1st, 2025, public hearing was called to order at 5:30 PM by Council President Roscovics. Present, Mr. Roscovics, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 6-0 vote.
December 1st, 2025 organizational meeting was called to order at 6:30 PM by Council President Roscovics. Present, Mr. Roscovics, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes in their entirety?
So moved.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mr. Guerrero seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 6-0 vote.
December 1st, 2025, regular council meeting was called to order at 7 PM by Council President Roskovich. President Roskovich offered the opening prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
I will move that we waive the reading of the minutes.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio was second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the minutes by a 6-0 vote. Thank you, Ms. Milberg. The city council reports, the only thing I have to offer tonight is on our January 5th meeting. Will begin at 5:30 with a work session with the solicitor present and obviously our other officers, but we will discuss changing our agenda, modifying our meeting format, changing our agenda, and that things that we've been talking about. So that'll begin January 5th at 5:30. Anybody else on council? Mr. Manager, would you like to continue on with your report?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have several items to request tonight. First, I would like an ordinance to enter into 2 agreements with the Ashtabula County Board of Commissioners in Jefferson, Ohio, for the purpose of providing public transportation services and a lease for the Operations Center. Funding for this expense of the city's contribution for this effort will be taken from Fund 101.
I will move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Second, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with the Ashtabula County Animal Protective League for the purpose of intake of animals for the city of Ashtabula in the amount not to exceed $24,200. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 101.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, who's second? I didn't, who? Mrs. Mills? Thank you, Mr. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into a contract with USALCO for the purpose of providing chemical sodium aluminate in the amount not to exceed $133,000. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 503.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Mrs. Foglio moves. Mr. Roskovich will second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
I would like an ordinance to enter into a contract with Polydine, Inc. for the purpose of providing the chemical Clarifloc in the amount not to exceed $55,000. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 503.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Ms. Holman seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We will add by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I'm requesting an ordinance for the city of Ashtabula to adopt a cybersecurity policy in accordance with the recently enacted Ohio Revised Code.
Move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, Mrs. Foglio seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
I'm requesting an ordinance to repeal the following ordinances: 2012-144, 2012-145, and 2012-177 in their entirety. These have to do with the city's pension pickup to be discontinued with the beginning of the 3rd payroll period of 2026.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mrs. DiGiacomo seconds. Any discussion?
Mr. Timonier, which ordinance was that? 2025-2?
There's actually 3 ordinances. They're all from 2012.
Yes,
It's 144, 145, and 177.
yes. I just want to add that 2025-218 refers to attachment 144 And 2025-219 also refers to attachment 145, but the actual attachment, both of them are to 145. That's all. That's all. Page 127, the attachment is on 128.
So, could you say that again, please? I'm just
Yeah, if
finding
you
it here,
just
so-
briefly,
attachment is,
Yeah.
make sure that the right attachment gets on
Okay,
there.
thank you.
Yeah.
So the exhibit is not,
Yes,
okay.
it
the same
understood.
attachment.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I'm requesting an ordinance to enter into 3 contracts with USA Waste Geneva Landfill for the receipt and treatment of leachate, disposal of sludge, and disposal of solid waste. The contract shall extend for the period of 5 years, commencing January 1st, 2026, and ending December 31st, 2030.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Mrs. Fogel moves, Mr. Guerrero seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I'm requesting an ordinance to enter into a contract with Schultz Fluid Handling for the purpose of providing a replacement Moino feed pump and various components for the centrifuge at the wastewater treatment plant in the amount not to exceed $20,000. This expense will be paid from Fund 504.
Mr. President, I
Yeah.
move on the manager's recommendation.
I'll second.
Mrs. Fogel moves, Mrs. Mills will second. Any discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Just something quick. Mr. Vizzello, when did this pump go down? So by the time we've had to do all of the things to get the quotes, this is a single source item. Because it's over that $10,000 limit, we've been working off the backup pump and not been able to order another one until now that we've been able to bring it to council and do this.
Yeah.
These are the types of items that fall between that $10,000 and $50,000 limit that would make our lives a lot easier.
Yes.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and we need to explain that. I thought we did, maybe we didn't well enough, but we need to really, because
Well,
I
I think what it came down to is we were combating a lot of misinformation that was put out there.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't have time to do it with everything else that we had going on.
Right.
So,
I agree. So we'll work on that again. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I'm requesting an ordinance to accept and ratify the terms of a tentative agreement with AFSCME Local 1197, FOP Lodge Number 26, and IAF Local Number 165, and authorizing the city manager's office to enter into collective bargaining agreements incorporating said terms effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation and say amen.
I'll second.
Mrs. Fogel moves, Mr. Mills, Mrs. Mills seconds. I will just say thank you, Mr. Timonier, for this is a lot of work. People don't realize how much work it goes into negotiating contracts, let alone 3 or 4 of them at the same time. I think this is 5, right?
This is 5.
Five,
Yeah, we have
so-
5 union
Yeah,
contracts, yes.
it's a lot of work. And I just want, we have excellent employees. Our employees just go above and beyond all the time, I think. Whether they're out there like today in 10 degrees picking up our sanitation or, going out into the middle of the Lake Erie to rescue some, it's a lot of work. But we have excellent employees, so I'm so glad to see that this all worked out.
And Mr. President, I would just like to thank, you can't do this alone, so my staff, Kelly Jones in my office, helped out with the negotiations. Mr. Khan and the solicitor's office both were very involved also. I threw a lot of numbers at Mr. Khan, he immediately got them back to me. Ms. Cooper and Ms. Colgan both provided a lot of advice and input to me as we negotiated these. It's been a year. We'll just say that. It's been a year.
Well, thank you,
thank you.
Ms. Cooper, Mr. Khan, thank you also. Like I said, we have, how many employees? We got 150, 160?
It's between 120 and 140, I think.
Okay, so, a lot. But like I said, they do an excellent job. It's good that we are able to do this. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I'm requesting an ordinance approving and adopting pay rates and other terms and conditions of employment for current non-union personnel employed by the city of Ashtabula and made applicable as of January 1st, 2026.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Ms. Fogel moves, Mrs. DeGiacomo seconds. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Mr. President, that's all I have for the report. Just a couple of announcements. City Hall, and I believe also the courts, on Christmas Eve will be closed at noon on Christmas Eve, obviously closed on Christmas Day, and then with the office itself will be closed the day after Christmas. Employees may be working on that day if they don't have time off, but the office will be closed to the public on that Friday. The same schedule will be followed for New Year's Eve through New Year's Day. Although that Friday of the day after Christmas, garbage will be picked up. We'll just be one day late, but we won't be picking up on Christmas Day or on New Year's Day. Yep. Also, last night, 11 o'clock, I should say, p.m. on Sunday, we started third shift. We brought them in earlier this year than we typically do. So third shift is on to give us that snow coverage. It's easier for us to do 24 hours when there is. Knock on wood, we haven't had to push a lot of snow yet this year, but we have thrown quite a bit of salt. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Timmer. Anything else for the manager? Okay, going on to the, let's see, where we, solicitors report.
So, Mr. President, as I said in pre-council, late last week, the city filed for injunctive relief against Harbor Ridge Apartments for their repeated alleged violations of the housing code and the city's ordinances. We're hopeful that the court will move quickly and find for us, and we can get these folks, their residents, some relief and decent housing in the very near future.
And again, thank you, Ms. Cooper, for doing that in the housing department and such. Yeah, it's,
Yes, sir. Ms. Colgan and Steve Nelson and Steve Chase before he retired, and Antonio and Jason and the fire department and Mary Church have all been trying to work with Harbor Ridge to avoid this
yeah.
for everybody's benefit, but it's just impossible.
And that's a company somewhere far away. Just doesn't, care about people. Well,
Mr. President?
yes.
Madam Solicitor, telephone scams are starting with, you didn't pay your utilities, we're going to shut them off.
Right.
And actually, I received one, it was pretty good. The only reason why I knew is they didn't put me on hold.
My sister
I
received one.
And if they wouldn't have been so greedy, I probably would have paid them, and it was,
Yeah. My sister received one of the ones that I heard about on the news the other day, where they told her that she had missed a court date where she was supposed to be an expert witness in something. And so there was like a contempt citation against her, and she had to pay $4,000. And they gave her a number to call, and I called the number, and sure enough, it was the sheriff's department. And they said, yeah, they had gotten a dozen calls that day. If you get a call or a text message, don't respond. Get a number, call the number, or look it up online and call the correct number before you do anything. Don't send money over your phone. Don't let them come to your house to collect it.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving on, Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 3 items for tonight, and the first item is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the CPA firm Chuni and Panici CPAs for the gap conversion for the year ended December 31st, 2024, and the preparation of the report for the Board of Health at a cost not anticipated to exceed $32,000 and paid out of the general fund, sanitation fund, and water pollution control fund.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
I move on the Finance Director's recommendation.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
The next item is an ordinance to make an advance from general fund to sanitation fund in the amount of $216,000, as well as year-end supplemental changes to appropriations in the general fund and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio, for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, in the amount of $243,000.
Mr. President, I move on the Finance Director's recommendation.
I'll second.
Mrs. Mills will second. Mrs. Foglio moves. Any discussion? And as we said earlier, hopefully the changes in our garbage rates, or what's it called, sanitation rates, whatever, will help cover this shortfall over the life of this loan. You know, we've had low rates for a long time, and we're raising them slightly, still way below what you would pay if you went with a private hauler, but this will help offset this deficit. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 6-0 vote.
Can I ask a question on that? A constituent asked me, how long have we been operating the sanitation department in the red
Mr. President, that would be this year.
this year?
Yes. So Mr. Khan actually finally discovered where the error was from the budget versus what we were seeing being collected. The delinquent the delinquent garbage rates that we certified to the county were way overestimated for this year's budget. So this was done last year. And what had happened was the previous finance director had certified 2 rounds in the previous year, which meant there was no delinquency coming in this year from those tax monies. However, the dollar amount was not adjusted in the budget. So that left us a little over $200,000 hole that we were unaware of until now, because now we've finally collected all the funds for the taxes and everything. So that's where the discrepancy came from. It is our hope that once we close out this year, we don't have to use the full 200 and some odd thousand. We think it'll be closer to 190. But we'll only borrow what we need to make the account zero to start the year. With the increases that we are requesting, this should cover it. I don't intend on dragging this out for 10 years. I want to pay that back to the general fund sooner than later. But I also don't anticipate that this will affect our match money for the grant, if we do get it, to then provide the bins for recycling and waste to the rest of the community.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager, when they're delinquent on the trash, how long before it goes over to their?
So because of our state legislator, again, there is now a $250 limit before we can certify that. So a person has to be delinquent $250 before it can be certified to the county. And when we're charging $15.50 a month, it takes a while to get to $250. But every year we do certify right around $200,000 to $225,000 worth.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And lastly, Mr. Khan?
And the last item is an ordinance to provide for appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I move on the manager's the Finance Director's recommendation.
I will second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that to our agenda by a 6-0 vote. Anything else, Mr. Khan?
No,
Thank you.
that's all. Thank
And
you.
again, Mr. Khan, thank you very much for all the work on the budget. It was a very readable document, very thorough, and we appreciate all that. I will just say, as a side note, as our state seems to be coming after, I don't want to say coming after, but as our state seems to be making things more difficult for schools and municipalities and so forth, I'm glad that you're here to help us navigate through that, and I feel comfortable, appreciative of your expertise in all these areas. Thank you. Ms. Milberg, do you have anything for us?
Reminder of a ribbon cutting at Big Dog Bounce's new location at 4322 Park Avenue on Monday, December 22nd at 4 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Milberg. Our committee reports, community development.
Our next meeting will be January 7th at 5:30 here.
Finance and personnel.
Our next meeting will be January 16th, I think, I saw. Yes, January, no, yes, 16th here,
Yeah.
8:30.
Public Works.
Our next meeting will be January 27th here at 8:30 a.m.
And that's my birthday, by the way.
January 27th.
So you want to come to our meeting?
Are we gonna have any new trucks or anything by then? No? That last time was fun. We're going. All right. We do have a safety forces report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. Chief Stell was at the meeting, and he reported that calls were just up slightly last month from the norm. Lieutenant Cannon from the fire department was there, and we also had a slight increase in EMS calls. The subject of the e-bikes going the wrong way on city streets came up, and no, it's not allowed. But a law enforcement official definitely has to see that before they can do anything about it. But we also had a special guest at the meeting, which was Commissioner Kozlowski, and he gave us a pretty in-depth report on the new county jail that is going to be constructed. And I'm thinking that he said probably at the end of next year is when they were going to break ground. And it's going to be a big asset to the entire county and our city, but it is also causing some turbulence in the Jefferson area, parking issues, just general construction inconveniences that are going to have to be worked out. And it was nice of him to show up and give that report. And our next meeting will be on January 8th.
January 8th?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, that's second, yeah, because the first. All right, thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Councilor Guerrero, thank you for addressing the issue brought about the e-bikes. The second half of the question was, is there any education that can be provided so that people are more aware of the dangers and the consequences?
I mean, it's short of someone getting hit by a Chevy. I mean, I don't, I do not know that. I'd have to find out if there's any
Education.
training,
Education provided.
Okay. All right, the Planning Commission will be meeting this Thursday at 5:30. There's a few items on the agenda. I believe a couple alley vacations, and I think a rezoning request, and those would be discussed at the Planning Commission on Thursday night. The Historic Preservation Committee did not meet, so, okay. All right, we will move on to the legislative part of our agenda. We are going to do this in parts because we have all the way A through W. So some items are on a second reading. So we are going to handle those items first, an ordinance repealing, and if anybody wants to comment on any of these items, now would be the time to do so. A repealing codified ordinance 951-03, enacting a new codified ordinance 951-03, 951-09, and then adding 951-09, and then 951-10, and adding 951-10. These are all with regards to our pickup fees for garbage and drop-off fees if you're dropping off stuff at the transfer station on 24th Street. So that's what these are doing. We talked about these last week at the meeting. Anybody wants to comment on any of these items? Seeing no one, is it council's desire to handle these 6 items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Ms. Holman. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will handle these by consent agenda by a 6-0 vote. I will entertain a motion to waive the reading of these 6 items.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Ms. Holman seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the legislation by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on passage of these items, these 6 items. Ms. Milberg, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo.
Yes.
These 6 items have passed by a 6-0 vote. Okay, we will now go on with items G through W. And so if anyone in the audience would like to talk about any one of these items, public transportation agreement, an agreement with the APL, an agreement about the 191-062, those are, let me see. I'm sorry. Just, what is 191-062? That's just the codified ordinances, right? That we need to change, nothing. We're just repealing older ordinances?
Repealing and replacing.
Yeah, those aren't the wage packages. No, those are just some older ordinances. Then we have an ordinance to buy some chemicals for the water treatment plant, a cybersecurity agreement. Then we have eliminating the 5% pension pickup, authorizing, after repealing the 5% pension pickup, then eliminating that, our agreement with the Geneva landfill, an agreement with our CPA firms, an agreement with a contract for the wastewater treatment plant, loaning money to this sanitation fund, appropriations changes for 2026, and then the contracts with our 3 employee organizations, and then our agreements with our non-union employees. So there's quite a bit there. Does anyone have anything they want to comment on any of those items? Okay, yes.
Mr. President, I don't believe 2025-213 was requested to be added to the agenda tonight. So this is the one where we have to update 191, the one that you mentioned, so that it's harmonious with the Ohio Revised Code. But I don't think anybody here tonight has requested that. So I think that ordinance needs to be requested to be on the agenda.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I request that ordinance to be on the agenda.
Mrs. Foglio moves.
Second.
Ms. Holman will second. This is just like a formality kind of thing.
Yeah, this is when Ohio Revised Code changes, and we need to make sure that our legislation matches Ohio.
We're in
Revised
alignment with, okay. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
And that's number I, who we're talking about?
Yeah, I think, so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. I know. Okay, seeing no one wanting to comment? Yeah, a glass of water.
I do.
Will you read us tonight's legislation?
Ordinance number 2025-211, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into 2 agreements for public transportation with the Ashtabula County Board of County Commissioners. Ordinance number 2025-212, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Ashtabula County Animal Protective League. Ordinance number 2025-213, an ordinance repealing codified ordinance section 191.062, 191.094, and 191.10 for the purpose of enacting replacement legislation harmonizing the Ashtabula codified ordinance with requirements of the Ohio Revised Code. Ordinance number 2025-214, an ordinance enacting replacement codified ordinance section 191.062, 191.094, and 191.10. Ordinance number 2025-215, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of Clarifloc with Polydine, Inc. for the city of Ashtabula in an amount not to exceed $55,000. Ordinance number 2025-216, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of sodium aluminate with Usalco for the city of Ashtabula in an amount not to exceed $133,000. Ordinance number 2025-217, an ordinance adopting a cybersecurity policy. Ordinance number 2025-218, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2012-144 for the purpose of eliminating the 5% pension pickup fringe benefit of police division employees who are covered by the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund. Ordinance number 2025-219, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2012-145 for the purpose of eliminating the 5% pension pickup fringe benefit of fire division employees who are covered by the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund. Ordinance number 2025-220, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2012-171 for the purpose of eliminating the 5% pension pickup fringe benefit of employees who are covered by the Ohio Public Employees Retirement System. Ordinance number 2025-221, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into 3 contracts with USA Waste Geneva Landfill, Inc. for receipt and treatment of leachate disposal of sludge and disposal of solid waste. Ordinance number 2025-222, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the CPA firm Siuni and Panici CPAs for the gap conversion for the year ended December 31st, 2024, and the preparation of the report for the Board of Health. Ordinance number 2025-223, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Schultz Fluid Handling for the purpose of providing a replacement Moino feed pump and various components for the centrifuge at the wastewater treatment plant. Ordinance number 2025-224, an ordinance to make an advance from general fund to the sanitation fund in the amount of $216,000, as well as year-end supplemental changes to appropriations in the general fund and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2025. Ordinance number 2025-225, an ordinance to provide for appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Ordinance number 2025-226, an ordinance accepting and ratifying the terms of a tentative agreement with 3 employee organizations and authorizing the city manager to enter into collective bargaining agreements incorporating said terms. Ordinance number 2025-227, an ordinance approving and adopting pay rates and other terms and conditions of employment for current non-union personnel employed by the City of Ashtabula.
Good. Thank you. Is it council's desire to handle these items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 6-0 vote. May I have a motion to waive the entire reading of all this legislation?
So moved.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mr. Roskovich will second. I believe our packet tonight was over 400 pages, so I'm glad we're voting on this one, to waive it. Anyone, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the entire reading by a 6-0 vote. May I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings of the legislation?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mrs. Mills will second. Ms. Milberg, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio.
Yes.
We will waive 2 readings by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on the adoption of these items. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Simeone. Oh, sorry, he's absent. Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman. Yes. Mrs. Mills.
Yes.
All items of legislation, all the way down to item W, have passed by a 6-0 vote. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, good. All right, is there any unfinished business before council?
Mr. President,
Yes.
did we ever do anything, or maybe it's for Mr. Manager, with the legislation that was out there on trees with replanting the trees?
Mr. President?
Came like from the Parks Board?
Ms. Mills, I think was going back to your committee for a review. I think we passed out legislation, you wanted time to review it, and then it was still in committee. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then it'll come back out? Or, okay, all right, thank you.
I have some unfinished business. During the last meeting, council voted on the roster list, and I shared my concern about my private phone number being added. And I also, I don't know if I need to repeat it, but checked with the ORC, the council rules, city charter, council section of the codified ordinance, and Robert Rules of Order. And it does not say that I have to list my private number. The part that's unfinished is that I did make a recommendation that we use our clerk of council, our office phone number in place. I also did a little more research and found that our county commissioner's website, we have pictures of our commissioners, email addresses, and the phone to the clerk's office. There are no personal phone numbers listed. I've also consulted with an attorney and was advised not to list my private number. So I'm not sure where we would go with this, but it's certainly unfinished business.
Well, I think you said you didn't want your private phone number published, and we didn't publish it. So I think, I don't see what the issue is then.
The issue is that there's no number listed there, and there should be a
Well, 'cause
number. and
you asked not to have your number put there.
I'm going to say it again in hopes that it'll be heard, that is not the issue. The issue is with adding our office number that represents all of council and each council member, and listed that phone number on the roster. Similar to the way it's done with our county commissioner office.
Well, I don't know, it has been traditionally the practice of this council to publish our numbers so that our residents may call us when they need us or when they want to report something. And that's the way it's always been before any of us got here, and since we've all been here. And so, and I think I did mention, counselors get phone calls all the time at night, and I think it's a little bit different than county commissioners. But city councilors get phone calls at night, my street's not plowed, my garbage can didn't get picked up. these are things that county commissioners traditionally don't deal with. And so if the office number, which is always published, the city council number is published all the time on the city website. If somebody wanted to call at night on the weekend or whatever, there's nobody to answer that phone, and so their concerns would not be addressed.
We
So
have more-
that's why.
Fortunately, we have more than one means of communication. We also have emails, and I get emails from residents, and whether they're in my ward and whether they are not a part of my ward. So there's a means of communication.
Okay. And that's fine, but there again, we talked about emails. First of all, not all residents have emails. I imagine more residents have phones. And emails, you can send an email, and unless the person checks it or reads it, then it may not get replied to. Like I said, you asked that your number not be published, and so it's not published.
And again, for the fourth
And
time.
Ms. Holman, please, I know the fourth time. You want the office phone number published for your name. The office phone number is there all the time. It's on the website.
So then what is the harm in placing it next to my name on the roster?
It's just I guess it's just unnecessary. That
It's-
every counselor,
it's
are
a-
you suggesting every counselor?
I am not. I'm simply
Okay.
requesting that Counselor Ward 3, Rolicia Holman, has our office clerk listed on the roster. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. The council last, 2 weeks ago adopted the roster as it stood. And so I don't know what else to say about that.
Mr. President,
Yes,
is this something that we can vote on?
we already voted on it 2 weeks ago, adopting the roster.
We did not actually vote on listing our office number. We voted to approve the other counselors' information, actually. And I've checked, it is not against the law. No law has been broken. And again, I've been advised by an attorney that I consulted not to list my private number.
Okay.
And then, Mr. President, then maybe your attorney should send the council a letter.
I don't understand why that's necessary, but I will certainly have the conversation with them. But again, I don't see why that's necessary.
And like I said, I don't know why this discussion is, we've had this discussion, council voted to approve the roster. I don't know why we're still, discussing this.
Mr. President?
Nobody is forcing anybody to do anything.
Mr. President?
Yes.
When we have our work session meeting, Madam Solicitor, would we be able to vote if, as counselors, we want our phone number put there? Because we don't, I guess, have that in the rule? Okay, thank you.
Okay. So what was that then? Go,
Yes.
What was-
There's nothing in the rules, so if counselors want to change whether or what number they have listed, that's up to them.
Okay, thank you.
okay.
You mean in a work session? In a work session?
Yeah, when we're redoing the
Organizational.
rules and all that. Mm-hmm, correct.
Also, a part of unfinished business, and we don't have to take it up now, I just want to certainly mention, I also brought up the special committees, the selection process, and I would like to have additional conversation to discuss guidelines for fair and inclusive process, which allows for representation from all of our wards for special committee meetings, whether they're hiring committees or our plan for zoning, any of those. I have some ideas for consideration as far as some processes, and I'd like those to be discussed. But that can also happen in a work session.
Okay, thank you. Anything else under new business?
Oh, Mr. President?
Yes.
Unfinished business, I was going to ask Ms. Holman for the ad hoc committee, where are we at with that.
Thank you for the question. I have consulted with our legal department, and another draft has been created, and we just still have a little more review before it's brought back to council. So
Okay,
thank you for your question.
thank you.
Mr. President, Ms. Holman, since you went over all of our heads with this resolution or ordinance or whatever we're going to call it for the committee, maybe I can make a motion for us to have a vote on whether we want this committee to even go forward, or if we want Ms. Cooper to keep working on it since she's so busy. I mean, if there's not enough people to vote for this advisory committee to go forward, why are we doing all this work? So can I make a motion to have a vote on whether we want the advisory committee to even go forward? I mean, we haven't voted, we just,
Mr. President, so under Robert's rules, it's been brought up under old business, there is no legislation on the agenda today. So there really is nothing to vote on today. If there was a sense of council regarding the legislation, there would have to be legislation and an up or down vote. One way or
but you
the
did
other.
give us a copy of an ordinance.
Yes. Yes, and we will gladly draft any ordinance that any counselor asks us to draft. And so we did. And we've made the requested changes. The changes that I heard of, I made. It hasn't been added to an agenda, but if you wanted to, I think it was tabled. So if you wanted to put that ordinance back on the table and vote on it, you could do that. I don't remember if it even came out of pre-council. So I don't even think it has a number,
I'm not sure, I don't have it in front of me.
right? I don't even think it came out of pre-council. So it would have to be added to an agenda and voted on.
Thank you, Madam Solicitor.
Anything else for new business? Okay. Does anyone have anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I
Mrs.
know
Mills.
it's a little far out, but I know people will be thinking about this, and I volunteer every year for this. And we have one of our county commissioners here, but our RAM USA will be again this year at Lakeside Junior High. It's the weekend of Saturday, the 11th, and Sunday, the 12th. That is the free medical, free dental, and free vision, so spread the word. April. Did I just say 11th and 12th? I apologize. I was
What'd
so
she say?
excited. April.
Oh.
It's usually in April, so sorry about that. April 11th, 2026, save the date. Sunday, April 12th, 2026, save the date. Medical, dental, and vision. So, and I'm sure they always look for places they assist the students with some lodging, and it's just fabulous. We're kind of cramped in there, but at least we didn't have to cancel it. It was always at the high school, but since the roof collapsed, it's at the junior high, and they made it work, so it's back again. So spread the word for people who need that, who maybe are underinsured or have no insurance.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I just want to share that, council was invited to tour the Shays Theater. It's thrilling, it's exciting. I think they're going to be up and running in March. So that's not going to be the theater part. It's many phases, coffee shop, meeting room. They have offices rented upstairs, but to me, it's thrilling.
Okay, anything else, Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Nope, I'm just really excited about the Shays.
All right,
Oh, and shenanigans, I'm excited about that too.
thank you. Okay. I will just add first, I was down Bridge Street this weekend, and how exciting that street was, filled with people, filled with activity. And you got to give those merchants and that LBCA a lot of credit. They really plan a lot of different things. Horse and buggy rides, they had an ice skating ring. It was just, there were all kinds of characters dressed up. It was just a really nice event. So congratulations to them for planning such a nice weekend for the community. So I just want to congratulate them on that effort. Also, a lot of people have decorations up this year, and they look nice too, so those are always good. All right, anything else? All right, this is the time we will hear from the public. If anyone would like to address the public, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and share your concerns.
Hi, Blake Hinkle, Ward 1. I just wanted to come up. I'm the first person to complain, so I wanted to come up and thank the city for their efforts on the Hulbert Brick Street grant. And I also wanted to thank the efforts of the solicitor's office and our fire department and the manager for Harbor Ridge. I have some longtime family friends who have children that live there that I've stayed in contact with. And some of the pictures that they've sent me over the last several weeks regarding backup and heat being limited to 60 degrees. It's been a long time coming, so I'm very thankful that you guys are doing the right thing, and I hope that the management company in question starts to really realize they're going to be being held accountable by our legal system. So at any rate, nothing bad. Just wanted to thank you guys, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkle. Anyone else would like to address council?
I'm back again. Steve Chase, Arlington Avenue. So 2 weeks ago, I spoke to council, and I guess it came off a little rude. I was told I was a little rude. I came up to just apologize. Wasn't mad at you guys. I didn't leave afterwards. I had something personal I had to take care of. So I didn't leave because I was mad at any of you. I do think that my goal was to challenge you guys just to do better. So if I did rub anybody the wrong way, I wanted to stop in here tonight and just offer my apologies to you guys. Not mad at you at all. I think for the most part, we do the best we can. I just wanted to challenge you to do better and wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Oquindo. I'm in Ward 1. I just wanted to come up here because I attended the Asheville Township Parks Commission meeting this morning and had a discussion with them about their role in the homeless encampments down in the Gulf. And I had mentioned to them that I had a commitment from the city, Mr. Timonier in particular, who said he would look into the encampments and be proactive with getting those removed. He kind of mentioned that he doubts that anything has been done or anybody has been down there from the city to kind of move them along. Mr. Timonier, I just want to verify with you that you have actually had somebody go down there.
Who doubts?
Commissioner,
I'm sorry, Mr. President, if you don't
Commissioner
mind me
Brian Hubbard.
Without getting into a lot of detail, I think some of the rhetoric that you got at that board meeting, you now realize the obstacles that we are under with getting other agencies to work with us. We did, if I'm not mistaken, provide a letter to that encampment that they had to be out by a certain date. I will verify that again tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it was both the fire department, police department, and our housing department that were down there. We don't call them for help anymore. We just go do.
I can see why.
Yes.
I can see why. Okay, that's all I wanted to, just wanted.
Mr. President?
Yeah, go ahead.
This has been an ongoing situation with the township for as long as I've been here. The township blames the city and says the city doesn't do anything, but we do go down there. It's just,
If
it's
you
a lack of
recall, if you recall
cooperation.
about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I think Mr. Giacomo was actually at the meeting with us. We begged them for over an hour just to say, no camping in your park. And once we got that verbal from them, the chief of police was there as well as the sheriff department, we went to work. At least on the properties that are within the city limits. What they do outside of the city limits, unfortunately, that falls on the sheriff department to do, but we have been active down there, and actually Captain Chase started a lot of things down in the Gulf with finding these camps, and we also have a committee set up in the police department that travels in the Gulf and encounters people and tries to provide help and tells them that they're not allowed to stay in the Gulf.
Well, I just want to thank the city for actually holding up their end of the deal. It doesn't seem like the Ashtabula Township Commission, Parks Commission, from their words, they have no enforcement, and basically they can't do anything. And I've asked how often or if they even contact the sheriff's department, and they said yes, but they don't go. But that sounds like possibly it sounds like legal issues if you ask me. But no, that's all I wanted to come up here, just make sure that the city was actually, paying attention to this and doing something about it. So thank you for that. And then also, we won't see each other till next year. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Anthony.
Same to you.
Can I have a follow-up, please? Because I just, literally in the past week, I've hiked the Gulf from the hospital to the Plymouth Ridge Road. And I gave the city a list of encampments 3 months ago, something like that. I can tell you that as of Tuesday of last week, Wednesday of last week, there's 4 encampments left in the Gulf, from those parameters. There's 4 encampments left in the Gulf. There's 1 abandoned disaster of 1, and none of them are within the city limits. So the city has cleaned up the ones that are in the city limits. All of those are in Ashtabula Township, and it's half of what it was. So there has been some progress, and I'm just throwing that out there because a week ago I literally did the whole thing, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen.
Hello, I'm Cindy Pajak, and I was,
Do you have an address, Mr. Payton?
yes, I'm in the Saybrook Township
Oh,
area,
okay.
but I love Ashtabula.
Yeah, no, we just have,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, thank you.
I wanted to find out how many rentals do we have in Ashtabula City? What would you say the percentage is?
Mr. President,
I would,
I would say it's either at or a little bit above 50%.
And we charge each property that's a rental $75, correct? And with that $75, that is for inspections, things like that. What do we charge that for?
The $75 is just so they can get a rental permit to be allowed to rent the property, but those fees do go back to the Department of Planning and Community Development to provide our inspectors and code enforcement and all that stuff that goes
Okay.
along with it. But it's not a fee to be inspected. It's a fee to be able to rent the property.
Okay. So I guess what I'm concerned is, in September 26th, I sent over to Codes and Compliance about 5 or 6 homes with addresses, pictures. It's lovely to see a couch in a driveway and, chairs, appliances, just leave your gas can in the front yard. I mean, it's just amazing. I've seen homes with holes in the ceiling, but people are living there, okay? But anyways, I sent these September 26th. Didn't hear anything back on any of them. I called a couple of times. One time they said that they gave the landlords a call and they were going to work on it. Friday, December 13th, I called and said, look, it's been 2 months. Is someone going out to look at these properties? Things are still amiss there. And I will look into blah, 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 and I stated, I'm gonna go to the council meeting again. You know, this is our city. We really need to look at what's going on in these homes. Like I said, you go down Route 20, and these homes are just not painted. The weeds are not pulled in front of businesses. So we have code people, and I don't see where anybody's really, I mean, they've got to drive around and see this. So is there a lot of paperwork involved in this to process? I know that there's problems where if we take them to court, it costs us money. But if you take them to court, charge the person. I'm just concerned that this was a beautiful city at one time. And I've complained about this over the years, and it's always went on deaf ear, and it's getting worse. And I know you all see it. And I really want someone to help codes get out there and take care of this. Like I said, does it take 2.5 months to get somebody to go out? When I parked on my sister parked on her lawn, they got her within 2 weeks, and she was on her lawn. She had to go and move that. So, I mean, we're not talking about, you know, cars that are not, have license plates on them, but I'm talking about trash in people's front yard. I'm talking about homes that have a tree growing out of the ceiling that people are living there. Okay, where is codes? So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. And I know you have visited us before, and we appreciate that, but there again, and I know this is no excuse or answer. I mean, we heard about the Harbor Ridge Apartments tonight.
Yeah.
They have been dealing with that situation for years. Mr. Chase, who is now retired, was dealing with that situation. And it's been going on for a long, long time. These things take a long time because you report it.
But why does it take a long time? Or we're giving them, okay, we'll wait?
No.
I mean, it's like a child.
No, they have,
Mr. President?
Yes.
If I might,
yes, I'm sorry.
we have 2 code enforcement.
That's it.
Yeah.
If I can finish, we have 2 code enforcement employees. One who was recently hired, only one who is certified to conduct inspections, because the other one is new to the system. And that second code enforcement employee was just added to the budget recently. So number 1, it's a manpower issue. Number 2, it's a triage issue. While yes, garbage in front of somebody's house or a sofa in somebody's driveway is not good, it's worse when people have sewage coming down through their ceiling, and we're gonna look at that first.
Of course.
So that's what we did. Our code enforcement people, and no, it's not a matter of saying, oh, just get it fixed. It's a matter of having to go back every week to make sure people do what they're doing.
And how long were you
with
working
one
on that?
person. One person. So it's not like he's sitting around in his office drinking coffee. He's out every day, no matter what the weather is. And it's not like he only goes to the houses that get cited. He goes to every house. And for every story you can bring me of people that have taken too long, I can bring you 2 of people that have brought it up to code. He's been in my office where somebody was convicted of breaking a window at a rental and it hadn't been fixed, and he called immediately and told the landlord they had 1 week. And that requires getting the supplies in.
So
Because
could we get somebody, can you get a couple more people for codes?
if we're willing to
I mean, I know,
take
I mean,
$80,000 or
budgets are,
$90,000 out of the budget.
I just think it's, I don't know.
And no, ma'am, it doesn't cost us a penny to file in court. So whoever told you that was
I
wrong.
mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming that it would cost us to file to go to
It
court.
doesn't.
Okay.
My staff
And I'm
gets
not
paid.
trying, I'd really like to see,
Okay.
you know,
Mr. President,
Yes.
and I've said this to you guys before, and we have brought some things to economic development where we show the complaints that we've gotten and the compliance. You don't see a lot of the compliance. The 3 properties that you called on Friday happened to be in the office when you called, and
Okay.
the staff did look them up. The one is the burnout on West Avenue.
And those were sent in September.
The one is the burnout on West Avenue,
Yep.
which has been sent to court.
Yes.
So how else would you like us to try to get that gentleman who has nothing to fix that
Well, I
house?
think you guys have done what you can do.
Okay.
But I mean, I
There
didn't
was
hear
another one-
anything back on that until I came to the last meeting and heard that Cecilia and them had done this. But the other 3 properties that are on Seymour,
One of the properties that you had complained about, we had actually been there 2 times since the last time you called, and the gentleman had made progress. It's not completely cleaned up, but they are making progress. And we do look at that when we go to properties. If people are making progress, then we do work with them. If they're not making progress, we send it to the solicitor's office. You have currently over 20 that are in for injunctive relief right now? More than that now. So, and as a matter of fact, with all the stuff that happened with Harbor Ridge over the weekend, the staff member that we had was on vacation, and he was actually came in from vacation, now loses those days for the rest of the year. These guys work exceptionally hard at doing what they get, and it was my fault that I don't bring to you more of the ones that comply versus the ones that don't.
well, if there's a
Thank
lot
you.
that's complied, I'm just, I'm
Thank you.
still at a loss for what I see. I'm sorry, but
I think, in my time here, we've taken down over 400 houses. We've had new construction going on. We do have people complying. So I do understand we still have work to do. There's no doubt we have work to do.
And I know
But
this
we've
is an
come a
older
long way. We've come a long way.
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
JP Ducro, 430 West Prospect, Ashtabula. First, a little Christmas citrus for council. No, they're okay. If you want me to test it, I will. First, I want to thank Mr. Oquendo for putting up the video of the Township Park situation today. I think it was a little eye-opening. And I commend Mr. Chase. Unfortunately, he's not in that position anymore, but I'm still staying proactive on watching the park and the golf and reporting. I believe, and I've tried to make this point in our planning meetings for the city master plan about how the golf, I think, is the most valuable resource and gem we have for quality of life and tourism here in Ashtabula County, quite frankly. And cleaning it up is going to be a major factor in fixing that moving forward. I think I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I also hope that council will consider allowing Councilor Holman to list the council number as a phone number for herself. I think it would be unfortunate to not be able to have her have any phone number listed in the city next to her name if she chooses not to have her personal number listed. So I hope that you guys will consider that. And I also hope that a lot of discussion on social media about this Candy's Warming House. I'm surprised no one came to speak about that today. My name was kind of thrown into the mix in that. I have known Mr. Turner since elementary school. And I did go down and look at the property, and I want to make it very clear that all I said was that it was and he quoted me as saying some things. I don't have any expertise on what's appropriate for code enforcement or the zoning or anything. The house is fixed up nice, but I hope that there's something that can be done to find an option or an alternative or a solution to accomplish what that facility or what the warming center previously was able to do, because I do think it would be helpful for people, and I think it would also be helpful for some of the situation that we have down in the Gulf. But I know that there's a lot of moving parts to that, and I just hope that a solution can be found. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ducro. Anyone else?
Patrick Haywood, 923 15th Street off of Columbus. And yeah, I was going to just talk about the warming house too. And I didn't know what was quite going on with that. And like, you know, I was going to my car out of Walmart the other night, and I'm just thinking, what if I had no car to go to? What if I had nowhere to go? And it's a sad thing, and I'm not blaming no one here, that these things get in our way of helping each other. And, you know, Jesus Christ said, we're all brothers and sisters. Our brothers and sisters are out there freezing. We have got to come up with something. And it's a sad thing to even have to even discuss helping one another. And, you know, to a lot of other things like the Bridge Street thing. Believe me, man, I was on Bridge Street in the 90s when it was ridiculous down there. And when I go past there the other day with my daughter, I'm like, what is that? She's like, it's a horse, Daddy. I'm like, that's a horse and buggy on Bridge Street? And I'm like, that's pretty cool. You know, we've come a long way down there. I was there when people got killed, you know, and no one talks like that down there no more. Everybody's pretty cool and peaceful. And every time I drive past there, I'm like, wow, what a difference. And people need to understand that things take time. And yes, we do need to cut out a lot of red tape and bureaucracy, but still, things are still going to take time. And I think we will get it right eventually, but we have to put ourselves as human beings first. And anything we can do to get some people out of the cold, I think we should try to do it. And I'm willing to be on any committee or anything, building a whole house from scratch. And, you know, I picked up a guy, I got off work and I was going to see my daughter, and this guy was walking, and he was a huge guy. And I drove past him, and my Holy Spirit said, turn around and pick him up. I said, no. And of course, I did turn around, and I tell you what, me and that guy had a great conversation on taking him where he was going, and he said thank you very much about 1,000 times. And like I said, we're humans first before we're politicians. You know, honestly, I can only add that we're Christians first before we're politicians. Never put your patriotism before your Christianity. I'll just tell you that now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, again, as usual, we thank you for coming. Our next meeting will be January 5th at 5:30 with a work session, and then pre-council at 6:30. And so until then, as been mentioned, everybody have a happy holiday, have a good season, and we wish everybody the best.